This is Isra from Creative Group. Welcome to the first session of level 11. Today we're gonna discuss the conditions of if, so let's start and see what we are gonna do. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about the conditional sentences with if. We have three conditions. The zero condition and the first condition, the second and the third. Okay, we're gonna talk about the form and the usage of each one of them. We'll start first with the zero conditional. When we use the zero conditional, we use it if we want to talk about the scientific facts. For example, if we're gonna say, if ice melts, it becomes water, okay? Or if you boil water, it evaporates. What's the meaning of evaporates? Evaporates means that the water is gonna turn to steam. What about the form of this condition? Okay, we use the present simple, okay, right after if, okay, and here also. For example, we're gonna put if plus the subject, then we're gonna add the verb in the present tense, as here, if ice melts. Then after that, we have to put comma, okay? Then we add the subject and the present simple also, okay? So in this form, we're gonna use the present simple, nothing more than the present simple, okay? And now we're gonna move to the first conditional. When we use the first conditional, we use it if we want to speak about facts or true ideas, but not scientific ones. Okay, these ideas are possible to fulfill. We can do them in reality. Okay, like for example, if it rains, I will wear a jacket. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. Okay, so if you're gonna study hard, okay, this is something. So you're gonna pass the exam, which is something possible to fulfill. Okay, in this case, we use the present simple in the first part of the sentence, okay? Then we use will plus the infinitive, okay? In all the if conditions, we can put if at the beginning of the sentence, okay? Or we can put it in the middle, like here, if it rains, I will wear a jacket. Or we can say, I will wear a jacket if it rains. Okay, in this case, we're not gonna put comma before if. Okay, we have the second conditional of if. The second conditional, we use it if we want to refer to something which is not true, or something, or an imaginary situation, something which is something that cannot be fulfilled. It's impossible to happen. Okay, whether in the present or in the future. Okay, so the second conditional, we use it to talk about the imaginary things or things which are impossible to fulfill. For example, if I had money, I would buy a car. If I don't have any homework to do, I would go to the cinema. Okay, he says that he wishes that he have money, so he's gonna be able to buy a car, but actually he doesn't have money. Okay, so this is something impossible. And here also he says, if I don't have any homework to do, I would go to the cinema. So let's move to the second conditional of if. Okay, we use it if we want to talk about something which is not true, or something which is impossible to happen, or impossible to be fulfilled. Okay, it's an imaginary situation. We cannot fulfill it even in the present or in the future. Okay, so for example here, if I had enough money, I would buy a car. In this case, he wishes to have money, but actually he doesn't have. Okay, so this is an imaginary situation. In this example also, if I were you, I would accept their invitation. He's not in his position, so he cannot accept their invitation. So this is also an imaginary situation. In this condition, we use the present, we use the past tense, okay, like here we said had. This is the past tense of the verb have, okay, and we use would plus the infinitive. Okay, you have to be careful here that in this case, if we're gonna use the past tense of the verb to be, okay, we use with the all pronouns wear. Okay, we say I wear, we say he wear, she wear. Okay, so we use wear with both the singular and the plural. Let's move to the third conditional. We use the third conditional to refer to something which is not true in the past, something which is impossible to happen. Okay, the difference between the second conditional and the third conditional. Okay, in the second conditional, we said that things that are impossible but in the present, okay, or in the future. But the third conditional, things which are also impossible but in the past, yeah. Okay, for example, if you had told me about the problem, I would have helped you. If they had studied hard, they would have passed the exam. All the situation has ended, okay, all of it ended in the past. They didn't pass the exam, okay, so the situation happened and ended in the past, okay, and he wishes. Okay, so let's move to the third conditional. We use it if we want to refer to something which is not true, okay, or something which is impossible to happen but in the past. Okay, the difference between the second condition, that we said something impossible to happen in the present or in the future, but the third conditional, something impossible to happen in the past. For example, if you had told me about the problem, I would have helped you. So all the situation ended and was over in the past. Okay, another example, like if they had studied hard, they would have passed the exam. The situation also ended, okay, they didn't pass the exam, so this is something impossible. What about the form in this condition? Okay, we use the past perfect, okay, like here, had told, okay, in the first part of the sentence, and we use would have plus the BB, okay, would have plus the BB. Like would have helped, they would have passed, okay. So let's sum up the actually the four conditionals of if. We said that the zero condition, we use the present simple, okay, in both parts of the sentence. We use it if we want to talk about the scientific facts. Then we have the first conditional of if. Okay, we use it to when we want to talk about things that are possible to happen, and we use with it the present simple and the future tense. Okay. The second conditional, we use it if we want to talk about something which is impossible to happen, but in the present or in the future. Okay, we use in this conditional, we use the past tense, okay, plus would and the infinitive. We have also the third conditional of if. We use it if you want to talk about something which is impossible to be fulfilled, okay, and we use in it the past perfect, okay, we use in it the past perfect and would have plus the infinitive, would have plus the BB, okay. Okay, let's take a look. We have here some exercise just to make sure that everything is clear. Okay, the first sentence, if the weather had been better, we come by bike. Okay, so this is the past perfect. So which condition is this? This is the third condition. Okay, so we're gonna say if the weather had been better, we would have we would have came by bike. Okay. Number 2. Okay. Number 2, John's mother. More time for him if he does the washing up. Okay, so which tense is this? This is the present tense. Okay, so this is the first conditional of if. Okay, so we're gonna say John's mother will have more time. Will have more time for him if he does the washing up. Okay, number 3. If Alice more money, she would go to Africa. Okay, so which sentence is this? Which condition is this? Okay, yeah, correct. This is the second conditional. And here we have would plus the infinitive. So we're gonna use the past tense. Okay, so if Alice had more money, she would go to Africa. Okay, number 4, if you spoke louder, your classmate. Okay, so here spoke in the past tense. So this is the second conditional of if. We have to use would plus the infinitive. Okay, so your classmates would understand. Okay, what about number 5? Dane saved if he drove slowly. So drove here, this is also the past tense. Okay, so we're gonna use, so this is the second conditional of if. Okay, so we're gonna say Dan would arrive. Dan would arrive safe. Would arrive safe if he drove slowly. Okay, number 6, you, no trouble at school if you had done your homework. So which tense is this? Okay, correct. This is the past perfect. Okay, and with the past perfect, we have to use would have plus the BB. Okay, so it's gonna be would have had. Okay, you would have had no trouble at school if you had done your homework. What about number 7? If you swim in this lake, you will shiver from cold. Okay, so you will. This is the future tense. So which conditional is this? Okay, correct. This is the first conditional and we have to use the present simple. Okay, so if you swim in this lake, you will shiver from cold. Okay. What about number 8? The door will unlock if you the green button. Okay, so will unlock. Well, this is the future tense. Okay, so we are talking about this, the first conditional of if. So here we have to use the present simple. Okay, so the door will unlock if you press the green button. Okay, number 9, if Mel, her teacher, he would have answered her questions. Okay, so which tense is this? Which conditional is this? Okay, this is the third conditional, and here we have to use the past perfect. Okay, if Mel had asked her teacher, he would have answered her questions. Okay, so again, let's sum up the 3 conditionals of if. Okay, we said that the for, we have the zero conditional, we use it to talk about the scientific facts, and we use the present simple in both parts of the sentence. Okay, and we have also the first conditional, and we use it if we want to talk about things that are possible to be fulfilled. Okay, and after if, we use the present simple, and the second part of the sentence we use will plus the infinitive. Okay, we have also the second conditional. The second conditional, we use it to refer to things which are impossible to be fulfilled, even in the present or in the future. Okay, after if, we use the past tense. Okay, and we use, in the second part of the sentence, we use would plus the infinitive. Okay, remember that in this case we use where with all the pronouns. Okay, with all the subjects or all the subject pronouns. We use where with the plural and the singular also. Okay, we have also the third conditional. We use it to talk about things that are impossible to happen, but in the past. Okay, after if, we use the past perfect, and in the second part of the sentence we use would have plus the BB. Okay, we said also that we can put if even in the first part, even at the beginning of the sentence or in the middle. If we're gonna put it at the beginning of the sentence, we have to use comma. Okay, for example, if you had told me about the problem, comma, I would have helped you. Okay, and we can also put it in the middle of the sentence. Okay, like I would have helped you if you had told me about the problem. And in this case, we're not gonna put commas. Okay, in the first conditional also, we can use any of the modals instead of will. We can say, for example, if it rains, okay, I will wear a jacket, or if it rains, I may wear a jacket. So this is the end of our session today. We discussed the conditions of if and how to use each one of them. So see you next session.